The Tao of Self-Confidence, Episode 38. Welcome to the Tao of Self-Confidence, where I share stories of real women producing extraordinary results by finding their inner journey to self-confidence 5 days a week. Get your free audiobook at our website at thetaoofselfconfidence.com. Well, hello, friend. Welcome to the Tao of Self-Confidence, where I share stories of amazing women who have discovered their inner journey to self-confidence. I'm your host today, Sheena Yap-Chan, and today I have a special lady on today. She is a entrepreneur with many tricks up her sleeve, and she is currently in Australia. I think it's in Queensland, Australia. So
yeah.
You can imagine what the time zones are like. I'm in Canada, she's in Australia, but the beauty about it is the internet can connect us together, so I could share her story with you listeners. So, without further ado, she's an amazing woman. Her name is Jenne Gimenez. And Jen, how are you today? Maybe you can fill in a little bit more about yourself to the listeners.
Yeah, I'm doing great, thank you. It's a little bit late, but not too late here in Queensland. So, yeah, I'm really excited and I feel so honoured to be on your show tonight. Today for you. Well, I'm actually, yes, filled with many little tricks up my sleeves. I'm a mum, a stay-at-home mum, and I actually just launched my business here locally to help local businesses do their social media. And so that's basically what I'm doing at the moment. And amongst other things, there's many roles a mother plays in the household, and we're probably very underpaid, but all the love that we get is more than enough, I suppose.
That's awesome. So, Jen, can you share with the listeners, what is your cultural background?
I'm actually a bits of everything. Another little, lots of tricks. I'm actually mainly Filipino. So my mum's Filipino, Mexican, Spanish, and I actually discovered my father about 2 years ago. I found my biological father, who actually is also Filipino, but seems to have a bit of a mix of German/American, and yes, I'm a bit of everything. But yeah, I'm Filipino and sound really, really Aussie.
I still remember when we were at a live event, and she started speaking like fluent Tagalog, but in this awesome like accent, and I was like just blown away.
Yeah, I actually get that a lot. Everyone that I meet, it's like, wow, even Australians, I don't look Filipino as much. I sort of have a weird structure of my face that makes me not look so Asian. Actually, a lot of people from New Zealand think I'm from New Zealand, so I don't know where I fit, actually.
It's okay. You are your own unique self.
Yes.
So, Jen, what is your favorite self-confidence quote?
For me, one that I really, truly love to fill out there, because it's one that is close to my heart, isn't necessarily actually a quote. It's actually a verse out of the Bible, which is Jeremiah 29:11, and it basically goes, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, and plans to give you hope in the future." And that sort of really speaks very deeply to me. It gives me a lot of confidence to know that, you don't have to be a believer in God. I'm a Jesus freak, so, but you don't have to believe in God. You can believe in the universe, but that in itself it just gives me so much just confidence in whatever I go for. And I think that's really, something that brings a lot of value into my life, and I never forget that verse. And the other one that I probably really like the most is, "She believed she could, so she did."
That's awesome. Those are great quotes. And sometimes it's just belief, right? Belief in yourself that you can do it, and you'll do whatever it takes to get there. So thanks for sharing that. And what would be, in your own words, your definition of self-confidence?
To truly express who I am. So, and that is something that I tell everyone, if you could truly express who you are, that is confidence. That's just your ability to, close off outside circumstances in your life and just express yourself creatively in whatever way that may be, whether it's services, helping someone, or, in the things that you create. So I think that is one of the true definition of self-confidence for me.
Thanks for sharing that. And so, Jen, what was your life like before the discovery or your discovery of self-confidence?
That's it's funny because I always used to think, I was a confident kid, quite confident. I was always like friends with everyone and nobody really disliked me or anything. I never had any issues with other people. So I always felt pretty confident in a small little way, but that's what it was. It was just I was quite confident. I didn't express myself too much. I just sort of sat back and just took everything in and encouraged everybody else. But I wasn't I sort of didn't really stand out of a crowd, if you know what I mean. And I mean at some stage I still struggle to get out of that sometimes now. And I remember, that's what it was like for me. I really didn't express myself creatively in any way. So I sort of just stood back and allowed things to happen. And so that was sort of what my life was. And I was happy to just live life normal. Like I just didn't think, I could go for anything super big. I was happy to just be in a 9-to-5 job. I didn't really aspire to very many things in my life. I was just happy to live little, small life, which isn't, I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but it just, it didn't feel like a right fit for me, but I just didn't know any different at that time. So, that's what it was like.
Well, thank you, Jen. And sometimes when we don't know any better, I mean, we just know what we know, right? Especially, being in an Asian culture, just being brought up to be told to just, sit in the back, just get a job.
Get a job, yeah, that's right.
It.
That's it. You just got to get by, you just got to, just be happy with what you get because, it's probably not going to get any better. And that's sort of the way I was sort of really brought up. And I wasn't really encouraged as much, and that was something that, held me back is because I was looking for encouragement to step out because I could feel myself like, I didn't belong in the background, but I just didn't know how to believe in myself, and I didn't have anybody that I felt believed in me enough. So it made me live a small life, and I thought, that was okay. And obviously now I feel completely opposite to that, and I strive to, to be a better person, not only for myself, but also for my daughter as an example for her so that I can show her how she could be, and I want to be that shining light for her. So
for sure. I mean, you want a better life for your daughter as well. So what was like that aha moment when you realized that, you were meant more from just living a small life? You were meant for bigger things. You could do whatever you put your mind to it.
To be completely honest, there wasn't this one specific moment that I could say, that was definitely it, and this was the time and the date. For me, the aha moment came in different ways. The very first thing was my daughter was born, and when she was born, I was really struggling a lot with my confidence. My relationship was struggling as well, and everything in my life just seemed really hard. And my daughter was in my arms, and I just look at her day in and day out, and I would think, wow, this is not the life I want to be in. This is not who I want my daughter to see. Growing up, that was a very similar example to what I had, and I just didn't want that. So it was sort of like this moment of being intentional towards just deciding this is not how it's going to be, and I needed to find that way out, find a different way to live, find a different way to approach life and find my confidence and shine out. You just, and that was, a series of moments where it wasn't just that one specific time, but it was just as soon as she came into the world, it was like, wow, I have a role to play and I really need to take it seriously, not for myself, but for my daughter. And so that was a really big moment for me.
Wow, it makes a big difference when, you bring someone out into the world, especially, you're carrying your child for 9 months, and then when you see her for the first time, like, you have a different perspective on life, right? I mean, I don't have any kids yet, but, everyone who has kids, they tell me it's just a difference. There's like this different way you see life. And
yeah.
so, I mean, after realizing, having your daughter and knowing that you want to provide something better for your daughter, what's your life like now?
Now it's just like a series of, constantly deciding and being intentional with what I want to do in regards to how I want to look to her, so it's like I'm bettering myself day in and day out. I just feel a lot more creative, I guess. Going back to my definition of self-confidence is expressing myself in a creative and who I truly am and understanding who that is. And it's just discovering that and bringing it out. And the other thing, is like I've had to learn how to be really patient with myself and really kind. I mean, you've met me before, and I'm generally just a nice person. I'm kind, and I do that for everybody, but the one thing that I think a lot of women sometimes struggle with is they're not kind to themselves. You can look in the mirror and you say, oh, wow, I look terrible in this, or my hair looks ugly, and, I just, and you're just really down on yourself. So now I'm actually discovering how to be kind to me and patient in my journey as well. And that's gaining momentum to actually be more confident, and that's something that you have to do on a daily basis. And I'm just more happier to be, pursuing my dreams and what I want to do in my life, whatever that may be for you. I think it's something that most people should be aiming for.
Thank you. And yeah, it's so true. As women, we are our own worst critic. I mean, I've been guilty of it. I look in the mirror and I'm like, my hair is terrible. I don't look good in my clothes. What am I thinking? And we don't realize that really hurts us, and it attracts the wrong things into our life. So I'm glad you mentioned that. And to the listeners out there, if there's a woman listening to your episode and she's on her own journey to self-confidence, what would be that one tip you would give to her?
Well, I didn't really know how to express this in one tip, so I'm going to try and just sort of narrow it down the best I can. But, in reality, confidence itself is very overrated. The truth is none of us ever really feel confident regardless of what we're doing. When you first start a journey, you're not going to feel confident, super confident, so it's like you have to decide to be confident and be intentional, and you can't wait for that perfect moment, and just have the integrity to express who you truly are, and just keep going for it. Like, you're not going to be perfect at it, so just do it over and over again. Like, I was so nervous to come on your show tonight, but I knew that, if I was to do another one of these, the next time I'll be more competent. And in order to be confident, you have to, be competent at it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So, you develop your skills in confidence too, and you harness that. It's within us. It's not something that someone can give you. You don't have to have a reason to be confident. It's something that you develop inside of you because it's there. You just have to first decide. The other thing is just keep going towards whatever it is that you're trying to achieve, whether it's, being a better mother or being a better woman or being a better, bringing out a service or a product. Just keep taking action towards it. And my last thing would be the community factor. I learned a lot of these things through High Performance Academy with Brendan Burchard, and one of the things that he really highlights is the fact that you need to find, and if you can't find them, create them, the community aspect of things. You need people to be your cheerleaders and like your supporters. And you need that around you to gain that confidence, because sometimes you just don't feel it and you don't have the energy to. And usually, like, Sheena, like yourself, we've been around each other, and it's just having that sense of community is so powerful, something that you can't get from anywhere else, and whether that's online or, actually physically going out and being a volunteer or going into the community itself, I think that's a really powerful thing to actually pursue. Sorry, that wasn't one, was it?
It's okay. The more the merrier. It's all good. But, community is important. I mean, I remember meeting Jen for the first time, and it's just like we knew each other for the longest time, and that's how it is when you have that positive energy around you. So thanks for sharing that. And Jen, if the listeners wanted to get to know a little bit more about you, wanted to get to know about what you do and your services, is there a website or any social media profiles we can connect with?
Yeah, sure. If you just head over to flying.socialmedia.com, you can have a look on there about the services that I do provide and just a little bit more about me. Or otherwise, just head over to Facebook and look up my name. It's Jenne, and then Gimenez, which is Gimenez. Sorry, I'm sure you'll have that on your site too, so I don't have to go through that.
Yes, to the listeners out there, if you want to connect with Jen, just head on over to the selfconfidence.com and search for Jen's name. Her show notes will pop up along with everything else we talked about. And I really just want to thank Jen for taking the time to share her story, especially, it's late at her end of the world, and me, it's still like early in the morning. So Jen, thank you so much. And
thank you.
You did an amazing job for someone who's nervous. I mean, when I did my first episode, I was like, sweaty palms and like stuttering, and it was a battle. But I knew, like you said, if we just take the action, we get better and better at it. And that's what really self-confidence is, right? Just take action, no matter what.
Yep. Yeah, that's right. That's right.
So thank you again. And listeners, be on the lookout for another new episode of another amazing woman's journey to self-confidence. And we'll talk to you soon. Bye for now.
Bye.
Thank you for joining us at the Tao of Self-Confidence. Head over to the selfconfidence.com for full recaps of every show, our amazing blog articles and resources, and just plain fun. Your inner journey to self-confidence awaits. So start today.